me talking randomly doesn't fucking interrupt anybody who's actually playing the game while they're like. But I'm in a party now, so let me appear online too, because one of my friends might want to join later. His name is Jonathan, also known as iProBloodman Dash Man. Yeah, I'm here online. I'm gonna see if I can. Make it to 2 million credits today, because last night I played a total of I think 200 and something games, and I had only gone up 100,000 credits because I kept the games I were having were good games. It just I was doing so much damage, and in one game I was in the WT Alpha 100, and uh, I was in the WT 100, and I ended up having to load an entire APCR clip, premium, they call it in the game, to be able to go through a mouse. So a lot of the times I was loading APCR in that tank to just kind of butter my way through whoever was in front of me, because I'm really trying to grind out some credits. What I want to do, and I think one of my last live streams, actually no, the live stream before my last live stream, I think it was, I had the Wolfenträger Alpha Panzer IV. That's what they're actually called, Wolfenträger Alpha 100 and Wolfenträger Alpha Panzer IV. I had the Panzer IV variant, the Tier 9 tank destroyer, and I had the choice of either going to the WTF 100 or the Guerrilla 15. And I decided to go to the WTF 100, but the gameplay in the WTF 100 really has to serve you. It's pretty much how the gameplay works in this tank, which kind of bothers me, because if I stay at long range, then I like, it's hard. Mind you, in the game, if you're not counting the STRV, the Stridsvagn, I have a really dry throat. Ew. If you're not, it's this tank here, the WTLV 100, as you can see down in the bottom left, that it says over the tank. Its gun is the second most accurate gun in the game at 0.29 accuracy. If you're not counting, I believe it's the Stridsvagn 103B when it's in its siege mode. This tank here, it's one of the most accurate tanks out of its siege modes at 0.3 accuracy. But when it's in its siege mode, I believe it goes down to like 0.24 or 0.25. So effectively, if the Stridsvagn isn't using its siege mode, the most accurate tank in the game is this tank, the Guerrilla 15, which is the other tank that I want to get. It has 0.27 accuracy, and then it's the WT 100 that I have at 0.29. But yeah, and I think one of the last live streams I did, I was playing in this tank. I think the live stream was called XP grind to WTLV 100. I had this tank, which this tank feels a lot more like a pure tank destroyer. And the reason I want the Guerrilla 15 is because it makes so much more sense. You had a Tier 9, you had a tank destroyer with a fairly sleek profile with an absolutely devastating 128mm cannon. When I put on like the top one, with an absolutely devastating cannon at 5.5 rounds a minute with 560 alpha and 276 pen. It was a fairly it just makes more sense going into the Guerrilla 15 from this tank, because it was fairly mobile. It had a 38 kilometer top speed limit, which means that this tank can relocate fairly quickly. But it just makes more sense because it had a sleek profile, an absolutely devastating gun with extreme accuracy, 0.32 I think, 0.32 or 0.31 I think on this tank's top gun, and absolutely amazing pen and pretty good camo rating. So from this tank, going to the WTL V100 didn't make sense at all because now you have this gigantic fat turret with extremely good hull armor. It has the hull of an E100. It's slightly faster than the WTL Panzer IV. It has a 40-kilometer top speed limit instead of 38. But from the tier 9 to the tier 10 and the waffle, it just made no sense because you had this gigantic turret that was penned by anything with, I gotta say, the best gun in the game, to be honest. In a 1-for-1 trade-off, you're gonna kill the enemy before they kill you, unless it's something like an FE215B 183 or an FE 4005, or an enemy WTL V100. I'm live streaming. Huh? I'm live streaming.
What?
I'm live streaming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look! Look! Another bottle of wine from my wine rack. Oh my god. He gets all sorts at Christmas time, eh?
Well, I'm in the live stream here, and I'm gonna start it back up tonight.
He gets all sorts
All right,
at Christmas
later.
time, so he gave it to me.